Hello again. Walt Pilcher here with another fivefold feed for those of you enrolled in our KCIA teaching series on the fivefold effect. Let's get into some practical application today and talk about beginning to recognize the giftedness of the people around you in everyday life and in the marketplace. Of course, if they're in everyday life, they're in the marketplace. In the class session, we're going to delve more into the specific characteristics of people with each of the five gifts. But even before we do, I'll bet you can already recognize many of them if you think about it. Now, remember when we talked about Fred, Ginger, Sheila, and Ralph? Obviously, those are fictitious examples, but let's pretend they're people you know. How many times have you heard somebody say, Fred is a great salesman, a real evangelist for our company? Ginger really cares about people. She always has something encouraging and comforting to say to you, no matter how bad things look. Sort of like a pastor, I guess. Whenever I get stuck, I know I can go to Sheila to show me what to do. She explains things so well. What a great teacher she is. And that guy Ralph in accounting, I don't know how he does it because he's not a nosy busybody, but he always seems to know what's going on and where we're headed. He really knows how to read the tea leaves. I've noticed the boss is always asking his advice. It's almost like he's like prophetic or something. So it's not hard to begin to recognize the fivefold gifts in others, is it? And could it be that other people are talking about you this way as well? Now, what should you do with this? Well, here's the next step. As a marketplace servant leader, let's say you're in charge of, or at least have some input into what the organization is supposed to be doing. Pray for wisdom, and then look around in your organization and say, who are the prophetic people here? Or at least who are the visionary people? Who are our evangelistic people? And so on. How can I get them to understand their fivefold role and work together to help me get and then communicate the vision and equip the other employees or committee members to do their best work for the good of the enterprise? If you get to choose where people are assigned, then be intentional about their placement to be sure it's consistent with their gifting and calling, and to create an environment where they work in concert toward a common vision. If you don't have that authority, then figure out how to make the model work with the people you do have. If your group's too small to have all five gifts represented, see if you yourself or one of the others can step into one of the missing roles, at least temporarily, with the Holy Spirit's help. Also, you're free to look outside the group to fill the gaps. Maybe a good friend can advise you. Maybe it's someone from another department who understands what you're trying to accomplish. It could be anybody, whether they're on your organization chart or not, but it's obviously more convenient if they are. Try this on your friends too. What are their gifts? Well, in the next teaching session, we'll get into this in a lot more detail. But for now, thanks for watching, and I hope you are beginning to see the potential for how you can enjoy the fivefold effect.